Blog Talk Radio. Welcome to Chat Noir, Mystery and Suspense. I'm Linda Kozar, your host, and I will be interviewing my friend, author Carla Hoch. Today,
Hello.
You'll learn how to fight. Hello. You'll learn how to write, fight right, or make your characters fight right. And you will certainly get a kick out of our guest. She's funny, but don't mess with her because she will kick the smile off your face 6 ways to Sunday. So put up your dukes and get ready to learn the ways of the warrior because you've been doing it all along up until today. Now bow to your senses.
No pressure.
So welcome, Carla. Welcome to Chat Noir.
Thank you for having me on the show.
I'm going to read a little of your bio because the bio on her blog, the Red Riding Hood blog, she's the bloggette. It's my favorite bio ever. It really is, out of all the bios I've read. And I do teach a lesson on writing bios, and I always bring this one up. Mm-hmm. Yes, I do.
I didn't know that.
I'm going to read it. Oh, yeah, I do. Moments before the destruction of her home planet, Carla's parents jettisoned her and her twin brother to Earth. He was taken in by a kindly farmer in Kansas, while she was embraced by a rather liberal clouder of feral cats in Houston, Texas. While still a toddler, she bid farewell to her feline family and headed to Pace, Florida, a small hamlet just outside Pensacola. There she raised herself in a hollowed-out tree trunk and taught herself to speak fluent Southern, write out a hurricane like a pro, and tell the difference between Coke and Pepsi by fizz alone. That's a skill. As an adult, she fulfilled the dream of all feral cats and became a Spanish teacher and track coach. After nearly a decade in the classroom, she met a military cyborg who, my page stuck together, her and whisked her away to such exotic locations as Virginia and New Mexico. Now a mother of twins herself, she and her husband have returned to the People's Holy Republic of Texas and reside not far from where her pod originally landed. Okay, and besides that, Carla is an author whose debut book is coming out in June. It's published by Writer's Digest. It's called FightWrite. And if you go to Amazon right now, you can pre-order it. Yes, I have looked. You can pre-order it. Yep. I strongly advise every writer or would-be writer to get this source book. It is going to be very important to you, trust me. You'll refer to it many times if you ever write a fight scene in a book. What are the odds?
I hope
so. And the cover's so cool. I really love it. I love everything about it.
I'm glad you do.
And about fighting, go to her Red Writers Hood.
Fight. But go to FightWrite.
Like Red Riding Hood.
Red Writers Hood. That's like
FightWrite.
That's
FightWrite.
FightWrite. FightWrite.
Okay, go there.
Red Writers Hood is like my old Google blog name. But I'm not tech savvy enough to know how to change it, Linda. You know that.
Okay, well, you could go to both and you'd still be entertained, but FightWrite is the one about fighting. So, also, if you want to see Carla teach or demonstrate, she will be teaching a class in New York City. There's a Digest conference in August. Do you know the exact date in August offhand?
It's 23rd, 24th, 25th, I think, in August,
Okay. I think. Yeah. But anyway, and you also have an article coming out in Writer's Digest as well.
I do. In their magazine,
Oh.
I believe it's their August issue. I don't know if they do like an issue that's like August, September, or July, August, but I know August is on the cover written somewhere.
Okay.
That's all.
Well, if you can read her article and go to the conference, great. If you can just go to the conference or just read the article, do it. Okay, I'm going to start off with, you are a wee pixie of a woman. How did you get started with mixed martial arts fighting? I mean, because I've seen you do it, and you're just a beast.
I was going to write, my kids were at a little taekwondo school, and I noticed they had self-defense there, and I needed to write a fight scene for a book I was writing at the time. This is about 8 years ago now. How long have y'all known you? It's been about 8 years, right? It seems about right.
Yeah, about that long.
Okay. Yeah. And so I thought, well, I'll go to the self-defense class. It'll help me figure out how to write a fight scene. And I was too scared to join the first class, so I just kind of watched because it was very Thunderdome, and I thought I don't want any part of that. I had always been a runner. I did triathlons, and so I was very much a flyer, not a fighter. If the zombies came, I was good. I didn't have to be the fastest. I just had to be faster than the person next to me. And so I was good. But I went to self-defense, and it scared me a lot, and I cried a lot, and that's not a joke. I did cry, and but I kept going until I quit crying about it. And after a while, the teacher of the self-defense class said, we do MMA training here. And I said, okay. He said, you should come to class. I said, I can't do that. And he goes, sure you can. I said, no. So, of course, me thinking I couldn't do it, then I knew I had to do it. And then it was a lot like self-defense. I cried a lot. I threw up. I would measure how hard the class was by how many times I threw up in my mouth, and I'm not joking. And I just kind of fell in love with it. I thought, you know what, I like this stuff. And from MMA, I kind of focused on some individual things. I really like Muay Thai, and I did Muay Thai style kickboxing, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was hands down my favorite of the different things that we did, and that's been one that has really stuck hard with me. I've toyed around with another few things. I'm doing judo as well right now, which I do enjoy judo a lot. But jiu-jitsu, whatever your build is, that's your gift. And so if you're a tall, lanky person, then that's your thing on the mat. If you're a wee person, then that's your thing on the mat. And I absolutely love it.
Now, you also did Hapkido. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, well, the self-defense class that I started with, Hapkido, Hapkido and Aikido are spelled very similarly, and it's because they have the same roots. There's Hapkido, that's Korean, but I also did Aikido, Aikido. And there are a few differences between them. Aikido is based on always having a weapon in your hand, a katana or some type of blade in your hand. So basically all
that's like Eastman and Morgan.
Exactly.
That's what Eastman taught Morgan, right?
Yes, Morgan does Aikido. Yes, it is the gentle way. It is not, it is a defensive art. It's like you don't put it to them until they've put it to you, so they ask for it. In Aikido, you can basically say, hey, if somebody did Aikido on you, you asked for it. Nobody's going to jump out of the bushes and do it. That's just not how Aikido works. It is a very peaceful art. So, but yeah, like Morgan has, there's a bow staff. I think Morgan used a bow staff. The one I like is a little bit on the shorter side. It's called a Joe staff, and it's about 4 feet tall. So, but yeah, that's one of my favorite weapons, the Joe staff, yeah.
Cool. Well, I always love seeing it on the show.
I know.
So what are you concentrating on now? Which mixed martial art? Primarily.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu primarily.
Okay, your favorite.
It's the one, yeah, that's my favorite. And it may be just because I've concentrated more on it specifically, so I'm better at it. And the better you are at something, the more you're going to enjoy it. You don't enjoy anything till you get some proficiency at it. But I also do judo. I try to do it twice a week, definitely once a week, twice a week. But Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is just, I throw in some kickboxing when I can, but Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is just the one that is stuck in my crawl, as they say. It's stuck.
Now, you and I met, I guess, 8 years ago. I think we figured that out.
Yes. Yes.
When I was doing, I used to do these events, Meet the Christian Authors events at churches and at Barnes and Noble stores. And it was one in Champions Forest in Texas, where we had a Meet the Christian Authors event, and you were the store manager, Lillian Wrights, asked you to be a part of it. Yeah, great woman. We love her. Yeah. And, I didn't know you, so I said I had to meet you first because I had to know all the authors who were in it, Of
course.
And,
of course.
And I read your book, Breaking Read, and I really loved it. I mean, you needed some serious editing as part of it, but the talent was there, and it was big talent, and I knew it.
Thank you.
And I told you that, I think, if I remember.
Yeah.
And, if the writing is compelling enough, the editing is gingerbread, because the only people who really care about that stuff are other writers. The readers will eat it up if it's a great story.
That's true. But it's something I have found after being, thrown headlong into the writing world through Writer's Digest, which, you want to talk about a high bar, they're going to set the bar high. Editors are the unsung heroes. Editors are the best writers in the world.
Yes.
So, and I didn't really have
They make your writing...
look good.
Yeah, they make you so much. They make people think you are so much better than you are.
Don't they?
I appreciate it, but if the story isn't good, no editor can resurrect it. They can't do a thing with it. So the writing has to be good to begin with. Yes.
Right.
And so you were there, and anyway, so that's where we met, and we just kind of hung out ever since then.
Yeah, we hit it off pretty good, I'd say.
Yeah. So tell us what you're going to be teaching at the Writer's Digest conference in August. And are you going to demonstrate some of the moves that, most often that writers would use?
Yes, absolutely. Well, I generally have two programs. One's called Practical and one is called Tactical. The Practical program is about the craft side of writing fight scenes. A lot of things that you need to consider before you actually start writing a fight scene, things that you may think, I didn't know that really impacted. One that, I always ask writers, well, tell me about where they're fighting. And they tell me about the planet or whatever. I work a lot with, fantasy, sci-fi, speculative fiction kind of people. And so, they'll tell me about the planet and the surrounding, and I'm like, no, literally, like look around the room or look around the 15 feet where they're fighting and tell me what's around them. It's little things like that I thought, oh, well, I guess I never, thought about that. Little things like that about the importance of, focusing on an injury. Every fighter, their goal is injury. No fighter gets in a cage and just wants to, give somebody a hard tongue lashing and really lower their self-esteem. They mean to go in there and put a hurt on somebody. And they do that with, okay, I'd like to knock him out. I would like to submit him. But that's all based on an injury. And so that's kind of what you work toward. So if you have a character that's going to punch somebody, they're going to move very different than someone who's going to stab somebody. And two people in a knife fight are going to be moving different than somebody in a knife attack. So you have to consider exactly what wound.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What wound they're going for.
I was saying,
and
if you're just fighting someone and you know them and they're not going to kill you, that would be one kind of adrenaline. But if you knew someone was trying to kill you, wouldn't it adrenaline kick in and you'd kind of have more of a superhuman strength or not feel pain as much?
It just so happens I have a whole section in my book on adrenaline. And adrenaline is adrenaline no matter what. Your body doesn't know the difference
I lost
in somebody
you a second.
sneaking
I don't know
up.
what happened.
Oh, are you here? You hear me?
Yeah, I
Can
just
you hear me
lost you
now?
for a second. I don't know why.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, your
Great.
body, I do have a chapter in the book on adrenaline, and your body doesn't know the difference in somebody, jumping out and giving you a hard scare, boo, and a bear chasing you. It doesn't. I had back surgery, and the doctor said, well, this is hard on your adrenal system. And I said, why? He goes, Carla, your body doesn't understand it's healing from surgery. As far as it knows, it's running from a bear. I was like, well, that's a very cool point. So it's not so much the adrenaline is different. And adrenaline doesn't make you superhuman. It just gives you access to ability you had all that time. Your body just kept it in reserve. What is different
well, you just hear about people who pick up a car.
Oh, absolutely. I have something in that. I have something in the book on that too. But it's the stakes that are different. So, if you and your sister, like my sister and I, if we're pushing and shoving, well, the stakes are going to be a little bit different than if it's a stranger somewhere and I feel like my life is at stake. With my sister, I know she's not going to kill me in theory. There have been times I have wondered, but in theory, she's not going to kill me. And so I'm not going to up the stakes as much as I would with a complete stranger. So, and that goes back to why you're fighting, which is something you really need to consider before the fight scene. Why I'm fighting my sister? Okay, she's going to say this is a lie, but it's true. We got in a fist fight over the movie Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. She was in college and I was in high school, and I know that's stupid, but I forget which one of us kept putting it in the VCR, which dates me. That'll tell you how old I am. And one of us is like, we're going to watch it, and the other is like, we're not going to watch it. And she punched me, and boy, I'm going to tell you what, she cold cocked me. Well, it was done. She's going to say it's a lie, but I lived it. I lived it, so I know it. Well,
all
it was
over
done.
Chitty
It was
Chitty
over
Bang Bang.
it. I'm saying. So it's the stakes that are different, and why you're fighting is really important. Why you're fighting tells the reader what's at stake here. So. Yeah, but as far as adrenaline, and, your body doesn't differentiate so much.
Wow, that's interesting. So what's the most outlandish, unreal fight scene that you've read or seen in a movie?
Oh, my gosh. I get asked this all the time, and I should have a better answer. I will say that a trope that I'm I'm using that correctly, right? Trope is something that's used over and over and over again. That's right.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
A trope I'm sick of is seeing people lift up, and you know what? I have a friend who has this in her book, and I'm so sorry. I love her. She knows I do, and I read it, and she asked me about it, and I said, that's not a thing, because I tried it at the gym.
I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're going to say.
Lifting somebody up by their neck and talking to them.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
If you're Darth Vader, sure. If you're Darth Vader, sure. But still, the person that you're lifting up, your head is not meant to hold that kind of weight. They're not going to be talking, So if it's between humans, that's just not a thing. It's just not going to happen. So I get tired of that. I get tired of seeing scenes where suddenly everybody's Bruce Lee. Everybody becomes a ninja where they can do these wild, crazy kicks. You're not going to see a bar fight and people doing wild, crazy kicks. Number one, you don't have room for it. Number two, you don't want to put yourself on one foot, if at all possible. Even flamingos fight on 2 feet. Okay? So you want to keep a solid ground. Another one is, like 15 against 1. You know what? If it's not in the Marvel universe, that's probably not going to happen.
Well, if everybody's a ninja, nobody's a ninja, I mean, it takes
Linda,
away
that's the deepest thing I have ever heard you say. That is deep. If everybody's a ninja, that is deep. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to have a T-shirt, a FightWrite T-shirt. I need a FightWrite T-shirt that says, if we're all ninjas, none of us are ninjas.
None of us are ninjas.
None of us are ninjas.
Feel
That's
free.
True. Yeah.
So my beef was with Atomic Blonde, because it seemed like all the fight scenes in that just seemed so crazy, and then she was, the hero is always impervious. They look wounded, but they have internal injuries from all the stuff. and, you know, they wouldn't be functioning, you know.
Well, that's like the stormtroopers are the worst shooters on the planet. But, you know, Han Solo can hit you while, you know, through a piece of Swiss cheese while he's jumping. Yes, that drives me crazy. It also drives me crazy to have somebody beat up. I mean, beat up hard. And then the next scene, they've got a black eye, but basically they're fine. That is not how that works.
Oh, yeah.
You get up the next morning hurting all, even if you're the one doing the punching. If you're the one doing the punching, you're sore too. People don't know that. You're sore too if you're the one doing the punching.
I remember, I even forget what movie it is, but it was with Sylvester Stallone, and they took a sledgehammer and they dropped it on both of his feet, one at a time. So,
oh my gosh!
He walked away, leaning on his girlfriend, of course. But
well, yeah. What movie was that?
I can't remember.
I mean, I don't mean to,
but you know, I
don't mean to brag, but I've seen all of Stallone's movies. No, no way.
I forget which one that is, but there's no way he would have walked away from that.
No,
okay,
absolutely not.
The time, we only have 10 minutes left. Gosh, okay. All right, I wanted to, like in mystery writers and suspense writers, you know, there's a lot of fighty, killy, stabby stuff. And or maybe it's after, you know, so in suspense, but you know, in mysteries, maybe it's after, you know, you're trying to find out who the killer is. Maybe the killer chases you or comes after you. I've gotten rid of a lot of people in books in different ways, from poison, intent, MSG, a nail gun, a shovel. So what are some odd weapons that you can think of that, you know, I'm going to name a few. Well, I'm going to name a few, and you tell me if you think you could fight someone with these. Okay.
Go.
A marshmallow.
I'm going to say no to every one of them, by the way. I'm going to say no to all of them, but go ahead. Could
you use a marshmallow as a weapon? Could you think of a way?
Absolutely.
Like a bag of marshmallows or just one?
No, I think if you get one of those big hearty ones, if you shove it down somebody's windpipe, I mean, granted, you're going to have to stuff your hand in their throat. But sure, you can choke somebody on that. Or if they are diabetic. Yeah, if they're strict diabetic, you could raise their insulin and, But it's hard on the spot. The quickest.
What about, that would be, well, it would take a little time though, wouldn't it?
What, with a marshmallow? Hey, you didn't say it had to be quick. You want quick? Okay. Or do you want, what do you want? The quickest way is to shove it down their throat and choke them.
Okay, what about a flip-flop? You know, they always say beware the chancla. Usually it's your, you know, the grandma beating you with her flip-flop.
Could you kill somebody with a flip-flop?
Could you do some damage? Could you use it as a weapon? Okay.
Absolutely. If you take off the toe, the strap portion, you could choke somebody with it.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Not just your grandma, you know, hitting you with the chancla.
No.
Okay.
That's right.
An unsharpened pencil.
Oh my gosh. Well, you could shove it through their eye. If you shoved it hard enough, I don't know that it would kill somebody, because I have seen x-rays of people with all manner of things stuck through their skull. But let's say in theory, through the ocular cavity into the brain, yes.
Yeah, because I've seen movies where they take a stiletto heel and put that through an eye and kill someone, you know, which is...
Well, yes. I don't know if a stiletto is long enough. But in theory, if you mess up the brain hard enough, sure. I'm going to say plausible. I'll give that a plausible.
Okay. How about a boiled egg?
I'm going to see choke. That's another one you'd have to stick down somebody's throat. That would choke better than a marshmallow.
Okay. All right. Now, okay, here's some other ones. How would you fight a werewolf?
Okay. All right. A werewolf. Well, are we under the assumption that there's no silver bullets or all that kind of stuff? Tell me what I'm
Well,
working
this
with.
would be, well, the silver bullet. What if you didn't have a silver bullet? What if you just
Okay,
had
so
a
we're
regular?
not going to do the basic old school silver bullet. Okay,
You ran
here's
out.
something.
You used it on the last one.
Okay. This is something that I tell authors too. Quit trying to beat things and just aim to best them. I am not going to beat a werewolf, but I can best him. And the way I can best him is climbing through to a small area that he can't fit his big body into.
Oh.
So,
okay.
Yeah. Or
that
I can
makes
lock
sense.
myself in a
Yeah.
cell. Lock myself in a cell. He can't get to me. So it's not that I'm going to kill him, but if he can't get to me, I win come sun up. That's
this
how
is
I
true.
see it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What about a robot?
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, tell me about the robot. What's its job?
I guess it's sort of like an android killer robot.
Okay, so we're talking about an
like
android.
A human. Yeah.
So like Bishop or David on Alien. And,
yeah.
Okay. All right. I have this in the book too, by the way. Androids are going to be human enough that you can do certain, their body balance is human enough. They may be a little heavier than humans, but they're not going to be so heavy they can't use human furniture because they have to live in a humid world. Their head is not going to be able to turn all the way around because of the skin, the mock skin that they have on them. To best an android, you are going to want to attack its joint. Not because you're going to kill it, but it will hinder its mobility. So let's say that I have a lead pipe. I am going to try to hit it in the knees. I'm going to try to hit it in the throat. Again, not because it's going to kill it. I got to best it. I got to hinder its mobilities. If I damage the eyes, then the robot can't take in any visual sensory information. So, and I've also in the book got some judo throws that are actually that are okay for androids. So you can, the key is distance. You can't get its hands on you.
Okay, I like that. Okay, we have 3 minutes left.
Oh my God.
I always loved in Goldfinger, that's an old James Bond.
Goldfinger. I remember that. It opens up with the woman coated in gold on the bed, doesn't it?
Yes. And he would take off his bowler hat, and it had a razor edge on it, and he could decapitate somebody with it. So
that's called a fire
happen?
ring. That's a real weapon. Oh, yeah, that's based on a real weapon. I can't remember if it's Persian or if it's Malaysian, but I think it's called a fire ring. I'm not sure. But yeah, they made it on Forged in Fire one time.
Wow.
So that's a thing.
That's cool.
It is
cool. So what else would you like to tell us in our last? We only have like 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes. Well, what did I say? Tell us about what authors could get out of having a copy of FightWrite, besides what the obvious stuff I said that, it's going to be a must-have, a source book, for anyone who's writing.
It's not just about punching and kicking. It's every aspect of fighting. It's the physical aspect as far as how it affects the body internally and externally, what it does to a person mentally. So we're looking at the psychology, the physiology of fighting. There is also stages of death. There are common injuries. There are effects of poison on the body. The book is in 5 rounds, and round 1 is things to consider before you write. Round 2 is just what you bring to the table as a human being in fighting. Round 3, fighting styles. Round 4 is different types of weaponry. And round 5 has to do with injury and stages of death. So even if you're a mystery writer who doesn't have a fight in your book, but you need to be able to your character has to touch a corpse and know how long it's been dead, hey, I got that in the book.
Well, you know what? I just feel like we've been in the ring for 30 minutes now.
We have.
So thanks for being on the show, Carla. I'm going to have you back because we only touched the surface of the things I want to ask you. So
I know.
Until then, have a great day.
Bye. Bye. Kill that music. Whatever. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.